Hello, everyone. Right now I'm going to go ahead and discuss our next section, which is composition of functions. Personally, I really like this. So pretty much the way you usually see this is a function goes into another, and it helps us do a lot of stuff like look at their domains, look at the ranges, look at the new function that's composed from this. So let's go ahead and do this real quick. As a warm-up, I want you to go ahead and check this out. If I give you a function f and I give you a function g, can you tell me what these values are evaluated at each one? So go ahead and pause the video and then give these a try. So for f right here, it says evaluate f when it is equal to 1. So I look at my f and I substitute when x equals 1. So it's going to be 2 times 1, which is just 2. Similarly, you do the same thing. You get your 2 and you substitute it into your g function. Very careful, guys. Remember, this is g's and not f. So it's 3x plus 1. So now it's 3 times 2 plus 1. So that's 6 plus 1 gives me 7. Ooh, dilemma. What about this right here? Happy face. So same exact thing. You get the function g, which is 3x plus 1. And instead of having an x, you put a happy face. So 3 happy face is the best I could draw it, plus 1. And then that pretty much gets you the idea that if you have a different variable, you pretty much substitute it in, whether it's a 2, an x, a y, a k, or in this case, a happy face, 3x. So same exact thing, I get my 3x and I substitute it into the x. So it's going to be 3 times 3x plus 1. So I solve for that. 3 times 3 is 9. X plus 1, easy peasy. And the same thing goes for my f. So 3 into my x here. So it's going to be 2 parentheses, and I could put that 3x. So now it's just 6x. So a simple warm-up that will get us started. Okay. So this is what I need you guys to know. So you can go ahead and write this, because depending how your quiz, your exams, or your book, or how your professor that wants it, they'll either write it in one of these 2 ways, but they need the exact same thing. This one right here, I like to call it fog, because like the little composition symbol reminds you of an O. So fog is the same thing as saying your g goes inside your f function. Okay. The one that is next is called the gof, like gof, but pretty much is saying that your f goes inside your g. So pretty much what I like to tell my kids is you pretty much start from the right to the left. So you substitute whatever's on the right hand side and you go ahead and put it on the left. On both cases, you put your x into g and then your g into f. So it works for the same thing. Okay. So go ahead and write that down. That's very, very important, because they might ask you one or the other, but you just need to know if what they're really asking you. But you'll be all right. It's not that bad. Okay. So this is like the perfect meme for this lesson. Unfortunately, I didn't make this one. I stole it from math group that I'm in, but it's still pretty good. Okay. So pretend the function f is a pizza. Pretend the function g is a hamburger. Okay, so I want you to picture it in your mind. Let's look at the first one. Let's look at how will fog look like, meaning g goes into f. Okay, so just picture that. Right, how will that look like if f is a pizza, g is a burger? Sounds yummy either way. All right, hopefully you have an image of that. The next one is gof. So my f goes into my g, right? Because we read from our right to our left. And if not, you can see that this right here has a little cheat codes right here. So let's see. So hopefully you have a picture of something like so. So fog. My g went into my f. My g went into my f. So now I got a pizza made of burgers. So hopefully you got that right. Let's go ahead and check the next one. Gof. My f went inside my g. So my f went inside my g. So it looks like a pizza burger. So I don't know if they make these in real life, but these is pretty damn awesome. Okay. So pretty much these are the steps I like to tell my students. Read from right to left and substitute from right to the left. Okay. So wherever you see an X, that will be replaced by the function that you are doing. It pretty much gives the symbol of composition, right? You compose functions into themselves. So let's do this one. My G, right? Because my right to left, my G will go into my F. My G will go into my F. So now, the only place it can go to is the X. So I'm going to go ahead and write the function right here. It's going to be my F of X is equal to 2X. And I just said that instead of writing the X, I'm going to go ahead and write my G. So I'm going to go ahead and put that G, right? My G, which is X squared, into here. So that's pretty much all we're doing, guys. And that would be your fog. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and do some more examples because that's the way we get better at math. So let's go ahead and do this real quick. If you think you got the hang of it, just pause the video and try it on your own. It would be pretty good. So same thing, G of X into my F. My G of X into my F. It only goes inside the X's. So if you had multiple X's, it will go in each one of those X's. But thankfully we only have one. So I'm gonna write my 3, but instead of writing my X, I'm gonna go pick parentheses. And I'm gonna go ahead and write X minus 2. Just like that, guys. We can simplify this, do some nice little FOIL if you wish. It's minus 6, right? Because the 3 distributed. There you go. This is my fog. My fog. Which is also, according to this, is the same thing as saying F, and then G of X is here. Okay, let's try the next one. I got Goff, so my F goes inside my G. Let's try that out. Oops, let me get a different marker. So my G function, I'm sorry, let me go ahead and erase this so I can have a better picture. Okay, so I'm gonna use my dark blue. So my F goes into the X's of my G. So if I have this right here, it's X minus 2. But now I have 3X minus 2 because this right here, let me go ahead and highlight this right here, 3X is from my F. Yeah. Alrighty. Technical difficulties. Alright, so this right here is my Goff, also known as my G F of X. Okay. I got about 2 more examples in me, and let's go ahead and do this one. Same exact thing. I got my G of X goes inside my F. So I like to write the F of X, and then instead of writing the X, I like leave big parentheses. So I'm gonna put it parentheses and the X is squared, so the parentheses are squared. And I'm gonna ask you, what goes inside the F? Well, you guys just told me it's right here. It's right here. So it's my 2X right here. All I have to do is just simplify, and I got the same thing as saying 2X times 2X. That is 4X squared. That is my fog, also known as my F G of X. Excuse me. Alrighty, the next one. My F of X goes into my G. So I'm going to erase some stuff so it looks a little prettier. Alright, let me do red. Okay, so my F goes inside my G. Okay, so my F right here, my F is X squared, will go inside the X of my G. So it's going to be 2 And inside those parentheses, we just said that it is this right here, my f, which is x squared. All I have to do is simplify. This is 2x squared. That is my GOF, also known as my g f of x. Okay. Something that I do want to stamp here, guys, is sometimes students leave the x still there. You don't have to do that. You're replacing it with the other function. So please don't leave the other x there, because technically the x has become the function. Alright, I believe this is my last one. Oh no, I still got 2 more. Ooh, these are always fun and always confusing. I don't know, not too sure why, but they are pretty nice. Let's look at it. F of f. So f composed onto itself, or into itself. F composed into itself. So I have the function f, and I want to put the function f inside f. So honestly, it's not that bad to do. You get this f, you put it inside f. Well, you're probably thinking, what the f? Oh, just kidding. Just kidding. All right. So we got this right here. So my function f of x is the square root of 2x. Okay. But instead of writing x, instead of writing this x right here, I'm going to go ahead and write big parentheses. Right? And what's going to go in there? Well, we just said we're going to put an f in there, like so. And that will be our solution for f of f, also known as f bracket f, like so. Both of them are the same thing, just pick one, whichever one you like. All right, let's go ahead and do the next one. Go ahead and try that one. Go ahead and pause the video, try that one, and see the solution now. So g into g. So I get my g function is 4, but it's right, it's 4x, but instead of putting the x, right, instead of putting the x, I'm gonna go and erase that, and I'm gonna put big parentheses, and let's go ahead and go with red. And what's gonna go inside those big parentheses? Well, according to this, it's gonna be my g function, which is this. So it's gonna be 16x is my g of g, also known as my g bracket g of x. Either one, guys, works. Okay. Alrighty, and last but not least, okay, what if instead of giving you an x, I gave you a value? So these my students actually prefer these best, because they put this, right? If we look at the previous slide, whoops, if we look at the previous slide, they were x's, right? There was x's here, but now they have digits. So what do you think is going to happen? So brainstorm about that. But what happens is you put this value into the g first, and then whatever that value gives you, you put into the f. So it's not bad stuff. So let's go ahead and do it. I put my 1 inside my g, so I put my 1 inside my g. So let's go ahead and do that right here, and I'll put my 1. So it's going to be 1 minus 2, and I solve for that. That gives me a -1. So this value is what now is going to go inside my f, and my f is all of this. So I'm going to go ahead and say that x squared plus 1, and I'm going to go ahead and solve inside. So it's going to be -1 squared plus 1, and I just solve for it, guys. -1 squared is the same thing as saying -1 times -1 plus 1. That is 1 plus 1. That is 2. Okay. So all of this, f of g with a 1 outside, is just a value of 2. Sorry, my handwriting looks like it's getting worse by the minute. Alright, let's go ahead and go with the next one. We got this right here. Let me go ahead and get a different marker. Purple works. I get my -2. I put it into my f. So essentially, I'm solving for this right here. Okay, and my f is x squared plus 1, but now it's 1 to -2, so it's going to be -2 squared plus 1. That is going to be -2 times -2 plus 1, so it's going to be Negative times negative is positive, and 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1, that is a 5. So all of this gave me a 5. Okay. Now, whatever it gives you guys, whatever it gives you, you substitute it to the left function, which is g. So I'm solving for g of 5. Okay, so go ahead and do this one. Let's see. G of 5, my g is right here, right? It says it's x minus 2, so now it's going to be 5 minus 2, which gives me a solution of 3, right? So this is my solution when I'm asked to solve fog of -2. My answer is 3. So these sometimes mess up students, especially because they haven't had the practice of the previous examples like 1, 2, and 3. So make sure you practice substituting, and then you can evaluate. But ideally, let me get my laser. The laser. Okay. Especially in this one, guys, put the 1 into my g. Solve for it as much as you can. Whatever you get, you put it to the other function. So here I got my 1, right? Because it gave me a 1, and it said g, so 1 and g. So 1 minus 2 gave me a -1, and whatever that answer gives you guys, put it into the other function, which in this case was x squared plus 1, and just solve for it. Best you can, you get a 2. That's all it is, guys. Hopefully you saw something like that in Algebra 2, but if not, pre-cal will work, make it work, we'll make it happen. As always, guys, it's a pleasure, and see you next time. Peace.